All right, so here's the first example. When we are solving radical equation, our first objective is to remove the radical sign. So how are we going to do that? Well, you need to first check the index. So the index here is positive 2, which means that we will raise this into 2 to remove the radical sign. So we can cancel that out. Now this will be 2x plus 1 now equals 5 times 5 is 25. And then subtract 1 on both sides. This will be 2x equals 24. Then finally divided by 2 on both sides. So there you go, the answer is 12. Let's go to the next example. Now, of course, I mentioned earlier that the first thing we need to do is to remove the radical sign, and that is by means of raising both sides of the equation into a certain number. Now, that depends on the index. Our index here is positive 3, so which means I'm going to raise this into 3. And also this side of the equation, the right side, that will give me 7 minus x equals negative 8. And then subtract 7 on both sides. This will give me negative x equals negative 15. Finally, divided by negative 1 on both sides, therefore x equals positive 15. Let's go to the next one. Now here we cannot just, raise both sides of the equation by 2 because there's a negative 4. So the first thing we need to do is to move that negative 4. How? I will add 4 on both sides. That will give me 6 here. And then that will leave me 8 minus 7x. Now this is the time when you can raise both sides of the equation by 2. So cancel that. This will be 8 minus 7x equals 36. Subtract 8 on both sides. This will be negative 7x equals 28 divided by negative 7. So x equals negative 4. Let's go to the next one. Just like in the previous example, the first thing we need to do here is to make sure that either the left or the right side of the equation is only the radical expression. We don't need the plus 5 on the left side, so I will subtract 5 on both sides. So this is the square root of x minus 2 equals negative 1. Now we have a unique situation here because square root of x minus 2 equals a negative number is actually no solution. So you will encounter this if the index is 2 and we have this radical sign, radical equals to a negative number. Now, a while ago, I know you saw that I have a negative equals to a negative number like here. This is different because the index is 3. So if the index is odd number, we can have this. But if the index is even, just like in this case, equal to a negative number, there's no solution. Let's go to the next one. Now we have a positive 3 on the left side, or on the side of the square root of 9 plus 2x. That's the coefficient. So we need to divide first both sides by that number. So 9 plus 2x, square root of that equals 7. This is the time when we need to raise both sides by positive 2. So that will give us 9 plus 2x equals 49. And then subtract 9 on both sides. This will be 2x equals 40. And divided by 2, x equals positive 20. Let's go to the next one. Okay, so we have here a negative 7 and a positive 2, the coefficient 2 and the negative 7. So you might be thinking, will I divide both sides by 2 or add first both sides by 7? So it's adding first 7 on both sides. So we need to move this first before we divide both sides by positive 2. So I will add 7 on both sides. That will give me 8 here, and then 2 square root of 4x minus 1, and divided by 2. So square root of 4x minus 1 equals 4. And then once you reach this point, the next step would be squaring both sides by 2. So cancel that. Is 4x minus 1 equals 16. Add 1 on both sides. This will be 4x equals 17. Finally divided by 4. X equals 17 over 4 is the answer. Let's go to the last example. Now here, both sides of the equation, they have square root, or they have radicals. So we just need to square both sides, get rid of that radical sign. That will leave us 4x plus 5 equals 3x plus 9. Let's deal with the variable first. So I'm gonna subtract 3x on both sides. This will be x plus 5 equals 9. Next would be subtract 5 on both sides. Therefore, the answer will be positive 4.